Hi everyone, it's me, Pierce, from the XYChromies, Confidently Uncertain. Figured I would do another post to keep the algorithm alive while me and Richard have a nice little week off hiatus from our normal podcast filming. So I'm going to read an article I wrote for May 23rd, 2025. So we're doing another one of these little blog entries thingies, so bear with me because I have to read what I wrote. This one is called Rinse, Repeat, Rebel. So, how to activist while juggling the busy demands of life. I am busy. My wife is busy. We are very busy. We live in an overpriced, more than well aged apartment that costs entirely too much in the Bay Area. I inhabit a home office slash second bedroom slash closet slash dog room slash kids room slash studio slash hybrid workspace. I work a great white collar job, but the demands are ever increasing. I'm 39. My sons are 2.5 and 5. To hold on to any semblance of physical shape, I try to squeeze in an exercise. Thankfully, the dogs help. They marry the miles to my feet. Most mornings, I'm up between 4 and 5 a.m. Not because I'm one of those weird fitness life coach influencer types measuring their life by the minute. The ones wake up at 4:05. I do 30 push-ups and then I turn my ass to the moon and stretch for whatever 4 minutes or some bullshit. No, I wake up early just to get everything done that must be done. 1 hour walking the dogs, home at my desk by 5:30, maybe 6. I ease into the workday with light tasks, sifting through emails, sipping coffee, skimming spec sheets, cut sheets, single line spreadsheets, and CAD layouts, right? That kind of thing. I say this somewhat braggadociously just to prove I at least know the technical terms tied to my work as an engineering consultant. But by 6:30, the real work begins in earnest. Until 7:50 or 8 o'clock. That's when my eldest wakes up and the school prep process begins. Peanut butter sandwich for breakfast. Convince him to eat said sandwich. Maybe. Get him to the bathroom so I can change him into his clothes post sandwich. And post peanut butter stains. Pack the lunch. Prep the backpack. By 8:30, his mom and the youngest are up. Luckily, I always make a second sandwich when I make the first, so the youngest one's taken care of while mom handles the hair and the final touches. We're out the door by 8:40, school by 8:50, drop off by 9. Then I'm rushing back home for work or to go run the many errands that I have throughout the week. Living in the Bay Area means living in one of the most expensive regions in the U.S. and the world. And no, I don't work in tech. But wait, Pierce, aren't you an engineer consultant? Isn't that tech? The short answer is no. I am not a software developer. Out here, tech means software. Sure, there are adjacent roles. There's biotech, finance, VC, PE, all of that. But the jobs still fall under the tech compensation bubble. But my wife and I, we run a tight ship. When you're on a budget, you've got to be strategic with the grocery store. Convenience is a luxury you just can't afford. One-stop shopping, that's not a thing. Each week includes trips to Walmart. Yes, Walmart. For milk, bananas, pasta, and more. Costco for proteins, potatoes, and gas. And local Mexican-owned produce stores, sometimes Target, and sometimes more. Lunchtime is gym time, if I'm lucky. Or pick up and park time if I'm not so lucky. It's leftovers or oatmeal for lunch. Then back to work till 3, 4, or 5, depending on the workload. And then the real work begins. Dinner prep, cleaning, tidying, playing with the boys, trying to have one fragmented conversation with my wife about anything, while she reminds me of birthdays, errands, and engagements. Remember Father's Day next week? Don't forget to get yada yada for your father. Oh, it's so-and-so's daughter's birthday. We need to get a present for that. It's this weekend. And just like that, it's 8 p.m. And we're locked in battle with the boys, trying to get them to sleep. Spoiler, they usually win. It's a miracle if they're both out by 9. Half the time I lose, My head hits the pillow, dead with exhaustion, before the youngest finally knocks out. Boom. Rinse. Repeat. Then it's the weekend. And oh boy, the real work really begins. So I wear a smartwatch that tracks my steps. And let me tell you, weekends are the summit of the weekly K2 climb. I average roughly 14 to 18K steps per weekday, which is like 7 miles. My yearly average last year was 17K per day. I don't say that to brag. It's just to illustrate the insanity of and busyness of our life. On weekends, I never dip below 22K. Sundays can spike to as high as 30K steps. So by the end of Sunday, I'm really ready for the chill Monday routine. It's essentially a pitter-patter compared to the weekend's blitzkrieg. And still, here I am, trying to find time to write. And I do have time. Usually it's right now. Right now it's not 5:30 to 6:30. But when I wrote, it was 5:30 to 6:30. That's my hour. It's precious. I think back to all those single years when my only responsibilities were to stay alive and stay employed. Man, I took so much time for granted. Sometimes I want to scream at my past self for being so lazy, wasteful, so careless with something as valuable as time. So, how do I activist? Where's the time? If my life looks like this, how are other folks doing it? This train of thought always leads me to single parents. I don't know how they do it. In theory, I understand. They don't meal prep. They don't get the extra hour. They don't have a partner to pick up the slack. And yet, I'm so goddamn busy. If I can barely be activated, how can we expect them to be? Yes, activated, as an activist, as in fighting for the preservation of our liberal democracy. We are staring down the barrel of an authoritarian state. And I'm so fucking busy. How can I fight the good fight if I don't feel like I have any time to fight? I can't march or picket for hours, as my much younger self might yearn to do. I've got mouths to feed and responsibilities. I've got a job that I not only need to keep, I need to excel at. If I ever have a hope to improve our financial security, I want a house someday. Not in California, I'm not a millionaire, but a house with a backyard for my kids before they are too old to appreciate the backyard. These are prime backyard years. So I'll be damned if they miss out on that. So how do we fight? Well, the answer for now is we do what we can. Right now I write. I offer words of encouragement. I try to relate. Because maybe that's how it starts. With empathy, with resonance, with carving out a sliver of time and using it to remind ourselves and each other that freedom isn't free. It takes work. It must be earned. It must be re-earned. And it requires sustained, dedicated labor. The reward? Maybe we get to just keep having what we have right now. And maybe in the future we could get more. The fight to maintain liberal values is a slog. The payout is intangible. You can't always see the results. Freedom is a vibe, a state of being. It's the absence of things being taken away from us. It's the presence of possibility, to speak truth, to live the way we choose, to exist fully. That's what we're fighting for. Not just for ourselves, but for our children and our collective future. We're fighting for the time that is ours, and that time will one day be theirs. Thanks for your time.